Would you like to get swept away? And by swept away, I mean swept out to sea. Do you want to broaden your horizons? And on those horizons, you see a pirate ship? Ahoy! I'm Cap'n B, and this is Mama Needs to Read Romance. Pirate romance. Yeah, I could edit that out, but you might as well know what you're dealing with. So I got this idea from Tiff of Tiff Talks Pages. She did a try a chapter challenge. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a great idea. So I have found 5 pirate books. They all have at least a 4.0 rating on Goodreads. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one. Then I'm going to read one chapter, the first chapter from each book. And after that, I'm going to pick which one I like best and then do a review at the end. So come along with me. This is a great opportunity for you to find out 5 great titles that are related to pirate romance. And then you can see for yourself, which one would you choose? I was really excited to try out my first Stephanie Lawrence. It is part of the Adventurers Quartet. It's the number 4 book in the series. It's a 4.09 on Goodreads. And I thought, even though it's really thick, I wanted to give this a try. I also got it on Audible, so for 1 credit. So I'm already getting excited. It says it starts out on the high seas, that goes into an exotic tropical jungle, but concludes in dazzling ballrooms of London. Our hero is Royd. He is trying to carry out the ending of missions that were begun by his brothers, what I assume to be the other 3 books of this series. And he has to be taking on Isabel Carmichael. It's part of his mission, but she has a mission all her own. She has to rescue a cousin. So it sounds like this is a second chance romance. Royd and Isabel were once together, which is part of the reason why they're fighting their love so strongly. They're on the high seas, which sounds really exciting, but then they go into the jungles to try to save some captives. And apparently, whoever is holding these people captive, they could potentially cause financial ruin in England. So they've got to go back to the Ton and save the day. And it sounds very intriguing. My next offering is Julie Garwood, Guardian Angel. It is book 2 in the Crown's Spies series, and there are 4 books. This got a 4.15 on Goodreads. Okay, I promise I'm not going to just read you backs of books, but this is so good, I got to do it. Okay. The Emerald flew across the seas, its black hull teasing the waves, its sails whipping on the wind. Aboard was the pirate Pagan, despised by the Ton, whose riches this scoundrel plundered, beloved by the poor, whose plight was eased by the pirate's gifts. So he's kind of like a Robin Hood. The Marquis of Canewood vows to hunt down the pirate wretch in revenge for his brother's death. But when Jade, an enchanting vision of rippling red hair and eyes of fire green, appear at his door to beg desperately for his protection, the Marquis agrees to keep her safe from the villains who want her dead. Jade is infuriating, exasperating, and gorgeous. Cane is noble, strong-willed, and powerful. No woman has ever befuddled him so, nor so deeply roused his desire. But as Jade responds to his knowing caress with an innocent wild abandon, they are drawn into a web of treachery that will test the very heart of their love. Yeah, all right. I'm excited about this. Next up, it's one that everybody had been talking about. So when I saw the cover, I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen that cover all over the place on Instagram. Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. And I was like, I'm excited to try that. So I used my free Audible credit. And then I went to Pam Godwin's website and I saw some stuff. I am not sure at all that I am ready for Pam Godwin. Really evocative covers of books. I don't know what I've gotten myself into. But I'm gonna give it a try. Here's what's going on in Sea of Ruin. Okay, I'm gonna read this because again, it's like really good. Bennett Sharp is on the run. Wanted for piracy, she fears neither God nor death nor man, except Priest Farrell. What a name, Priest, interesting. The unfaithful, stormy-eyed libertine hunts her with terrifying possessiveness. Nothing will stop him from coming for her, not his unforgivable betrayal. Not when she's captured by the ice-cold pirate hunter, Lord Ashley Cutler. She must escape Ashley's prison and Priest's deceit. It's like a love triangle that I'm getting. But can she walk away from their twisted desires? The twisted desires, I don't know. I don't know if I could do twisted desires. 2 gorgeous captains stand on opposite sides of the law. When they collide in a battle to protect her, the lines blur between enemies and lovers. Passion heats, secrets unravel, and hearts entangle until they break. Can love prevail in the Sea of Ruin? Can it? We'll find out. Maybe. Oh, and Sea of Ruin is 4.05 on Goodreads. My fourth book is by Cressley Cole. I have not read him yet, but I've heard a lot of things. His book is called The Captain of All Pleasures, and it's actually the first book in a series. It's a 2-book series, The Sutherland Brothers. This got a 4.0 on Goodreads. Raised as a free spirit aboard her American sea captain father's majestic clipper ship, willful Nicole Lassiter has never encountered an obstacle she couldn't overcome until she meets Captain Derek Sutherland of the Sutherland Brothers. His sizzling kiss leaves her longing, but after they share a night of passion, his subsequent disdain makes her blood boil. What? Subsequent disdain? Come on. All right, I don't know. I'm already, they sleep together and then oh, no. I'm not loving this. Nicole vows to take her revenge by helping her father beat Sutherland in high-stakes competition, the Great Circle Race from England to Australia. The Great Circle Race, okay. Nicole's scheme is thrown overboard after her father is wrongly imprisoned, yet she remains undaunted, taking to the high seas with her father's ship. But a storm wrecks her plans, and she finds herself a virtual prisoner aboard Sutherland's vessel. And while her mind tells her she should escape, her body urges her to surrender. I don't know. I'm least excited about this one so far. But I mean, I'm going to give it a whirl. My final book in our Try a Chapter Challenge is The Rogue Pirate's Bride, which is the Sons of the Revolution Book 3 by Shayna Galen. And I love what Romance Novel News says about it. Pirates, high seas adventures, and rollicking romance. This one will take readers away from their troubles and give them their own adventure. Done! Love. It says, I'm reading again. Marvelous B reads you the back of books. They're doing a better job than I could just paraphrasing. After his mentor is viciously killed, Bastian Harcourt, that's a great one, seeks to avenge his death, but he soon discovers himself astonishingly out of his depth when confronted with a beautiful, daring young woman who is out for his blood. Revenge is the name of the game for Raven Russell. Raven spelled R-A-E-V-E-N. Okay. The daughter of a British admiral, Raven believes Bastian is responsible for her fiancé's death. But once the fiery beauty crosses swords with Bastian, she's not sure she wants him to change his wicked ways. I love that she is also a swashbuckler. That's very cool. And it sounds very interesting. Enemies to lovers, right? This looks like it could be promising. And I'm going to check this out from the library later today. I don't have a physical copy right now. Okay, so that was the 5 books. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Pam Godwin, the craziest one, maybe. And I'm going to listen to that while I run over to Starbucks and grab some coffee, because man, do I need it. And listen to the chapter, and then I'll let you know what I thought. Okay, well that surprised me. I was expecting Regency era England, and instead I got 1700s, early 1700s, South Carolina. I love South Carolina. We go on vacation there all the time. And specifically, they mentioned Charleston, which is one of my favorite cities. So that was really cool. And the clothing, I'm getting major Marie Antoinette vibes, like big giant hoop skirts, feathers in the hair, the whole 9 yards. It's very intriguing. I have not read anything like this before. We meet Benedicta. The name falls right off the tongue. She's only 14, so I'm hoping that we fast way forward in time quite soon. But she is miserable. Her mother has been sent there, I'm guessing to South Carolina from maybe England, because Benedicta is a love child, and so her mother was disgraced for getting pregnant with Benedicta. And so her mother basically takes that out on her. Now, she's hoping that, as in Benedicta's mother is hoping that if she can get Benedicta married off to someone who is currently downstairs, that they can go back to England and everybody can have a good life. But Benedicta is not interested. In fact, she has a locket. We don't really know who this locket is from. We just know it's from someone on the high seas who loved her as her true self. She's about to go downstairs and meet this man who might end up being her husband, even though she's 14 years old. And she hears dogs barking outside, and she realizes that he has come back and he's come for her. And I'm guessing that this is a pirate of some sort, but she has decided, instead of going downstairs to meet her potential future husband, she is going to escape, and she's going to go off with whoever this is outside. So very exciting, intriguing. I'm liking it. Okay, so change of plans. That I Wanted by Shanna Galen is not available in the library system, so going with this. I love Eloisa James, and this is As You Wish, Seduced by a Pirate. Looking forward to that. It's gonna be good. This got a 4.05 on Goodreads, which I'm excited about, and it's about a pirate coming home from sea to be with his wife, but they never consummated their marriage, so they're not technically married. So he has to win her love, and they're already married, so it's kind of cute. I'm looking forward to trying this chapter out, and now to read chapter 1 while he messes around on the computer. Okay, so I got a chance to read the first chapter of this. It's actually really cute. It's two pirates. They're coming home after being at sea forever, and now one is going to be a duke and one's going to be a viscount. They're cousins named Griffin and James, and Griffin is the main character. He's really nervous because he's going home to see his father, who's probably not thrilled with him, and his wife, so James and Griffin, both of their wives, don't really know them anymore, and neither of them even knew that they were married to pirates all this time. In fact, James's wife thought that he was dead, and I think she would have been happier that way based on what I'm hearing. And Griffin's wife also has no idea that he's a pirate, so he's going to be going home, and they've made a bet that they immediately feel guilty for doing, because they're just kind of like sweet pirates that always were upholding not the law exactly, because they were pirates, but they only went after bad ships and things like that. They were just kind of sweet. And but anyway, the deal that they make is who can bed their wife first. And then they're like, well, we probably shouldn't have done that. They've decided to see one another at Christmas, which they're excited to do, because James and Griffin, for like a decade or more, they've only ever had each other, really. But now it's going to be all about their wives, so they're nervous about that. But Griffin is nervous that when he goes to Bath, which is where his wife lives in the country, that she's not going to accept him. And he's nervous. He has a bad leg, and he has a tattoo of a poppy, which is his wife's name, on his face, which is not going to make for a very gentlemanly look. So I think he's nervous about that. But yeah, he's heading home to see her, and I'm sure she's going to be quite surprised when that man walks through the door. I think I've read this before, like a long time ago, and I remember it being very cute. So I might not reread it for that very reason, because I want to try something new, but I do remember just thinking that this was the dearest, sweetest story. So more than an hour in, and it still didn't say chapter 2, and then I realized I was still in the prologue. They haven't even gotten to chapter 1, and I was like, oh, the prologue is almost 100 pages, so this is kind of unfair to read this much of the book. But I will say, in the very beginning, their chemistry is on point. They had something called hand fasting, which is a Celtic kind of like a betrothal. It's not binding. It can last like a year before you actually get married, and then you decide whether or not you're going to get married. I guess it's like being engaged. So while this was more than 8 years ago, this was like 9+ years ago. So they were hand fasted, and they had some lovin', and then he went away to be a pirate for like 13 months. And when he came back, she slammed the door in his face, and that was it. And since then they've been work companions, sort of, because her father owns the shipyard and he works on a lot of the ships, but he's not really much of a pirate. He's more like a sailor. And in any case, he has to go save some people in West Africa, and it happens to be that she also needs to save her cousin, who was working as a nanny in West Africa and then was abducted. So she needs to go to West Africa also, and he was just going to go for her to look for her cousin, but she says, no, I have to go too. And really, she's going also because she needs to know, it's been 8 years, and she either needs to know, are they ever going to get back together, or are they just going to be done? And so she gets on that ship with him, fully intending to see if there's really something more there still or not. But man, do they both feel it. And you get the impression right away that they both really feel it. And then something shocking happens on the ship almost immediately, that I'm not going to say what it is, because I don't want to, it's a big spoiler, and I'm not sure that I'm excited about the turn that it's taking already. So I am not as excited about this. It has good potential for sure, but I'm kind of wondering how piratey this really is. It's like they're sailors and they're on the ship, but yeah, there's a turn. I don't want to give it away. So yeah. So this morning I also read The Captain of All Pleasures. I didn't realize the whole title. It says No Woman Can Resist The Captain of All Pleasures by Cressley Cole, who is a woman. So we start out with Nicole Lassiter. She is, surprise, surprise, a red-haired gal. She has been kicked out of her finishing school, so to speak, because she wasn't able to do certain things. She really doesn't have any interest in school. She basically wants to be a pirate. She goes into a house of ill repute looking for her father, who is there supposedly for information, but I have a feeling that it's not just information that he's looking for. In any case, she's there and she's trying to explain to him that she really wants to join him sailing on the circle race from Australia to England. And I know I balked at this initially, but as she's describing it, it's like, okay, this could be treacherous and big on the high seas. And initially I'm like, circle race, that sounds lame. But I think I wasn't really picturing the full breadth of what a circle race could really be in the ocean. So it sounds a lot cooler inside the first chapter as opposed to the back of the book. So as she's in there, this guy, this tall, dark, broody guy, which I don't tend to go for broody guys, his name is Derek Sutherland, and he recognizes that she is not a young boy as she's trying to pretend to be. He is immediately intrigued by her, and her dad is like, no, he's my worst enemy. You stay away from him. I don't like him. And if you even think about him, then I'm going to be even more mad at him. So anyway, I don't think her father has agreed to let him join her in the circle race, but she's at least on his ship for now, overnight, and she hears sounds downstairs, and it's their farm animals, and she's wondering what's going on. There's some bad guys down there trying to mess up their ship, so they won't be able to either complete the race perfectly or won't even be able to start. And unfortunately, these bad dudes are trying now to go after her. And as she tries to run away, they fire a shot. And that's how the chapter ends. And it was all I could do to stop and even not cheat before, because I really want to only read one chapter of each, because I really want to go into this the right way. What a cliffhanger. And I like the writing in this. This looks like it could be good, but this guy's broody, which is not my favorite. And I think I shared in the beginning, they share a night of passion, and then he has disdain for her, which I find so, ugh, no thank you. So I just finished reading chapter 1 of Guardian Angel by Julie Garwood, enjoying some summer rain out here. And I was intrigued. It is like a Peter Pan. It is like a Robin Hood situation where this guy named Pagan, nobody knows who he is, nobody has seen him. He robs from the rich and gives to the poor, and so he's well loved by the poor people, but all the richer people of the town are terrified by him. And there is a man who goes by Cain who wants to know who this Pagan guy is. So he's actually been going around pretending to be Pagan in hopes that he will sort of learn information. He wears his nicest clothes and he puts a white rose in his lapel because the white rose is the calling card left by Pagan when he steals things. Like he'll go into a rich man's home, steal all of his stuff, and then put a white rose next to him on his pillow. And so, which is such an interesting thing. So the white rose actually puts fear in the hearts of men when they see it, which is such an interesting thing to be terrified of. But you never know. So then, as in I'm noticing basically all of these books, it seems like every single book I've read contains a woman with bright red hair. It's like an Ariel vibe, I suppose. And she comes into this pub looking for Pagan, and Cain lies and says that he's Pagan, and she hands him all of her money. And she goes, I hope this is enough, but I need you to do something for me. And he says, what? And she says, I need you to kill someone. And he says, who? And she says, me. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I mean, it's quite a cliffhanger, but I'm not sure that I'm sold. Okay, it's decision time. I shared with you my 5 books. So let's knock some out and see what we're left with. So Sea of Ruin looks really cool. However, I am very concerned about the dark aspect. Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers, who I just love. And I was talking to her on Instagram and she was excited about a different dark romance. And I was saying, ooh, I might want to try that. And she's like, but you might not because it's dark. And I'm like, well, but I mean, I want to try dark. She's like, yeah, but dark gets pretty dark. So be warned. And that is on basically what everybody's saying on Goodreads. They're like, proceed with caution, trigger warning, dark, dark, dark. And yeah, so I'm not gonna be able to do that one. I'm knocking that out, can't do it. So then we get to the other end of the spectrum. Eloisa James, As You Wish. This is so sweet. Because I remember it because I've read this before actually. And so I'm not going to read it again, but if you're looking for sweet and you're looking for a pirate that comes home, then I highly recommend this. But like I said, it's a pirate that comes home. It didn't occur to me, hello, this is not on the high seas at all. This is in the countryside in Bath, England. So, you know, not a lot of pirate stuff going on there. So I'm knocking this one out too. 3 left. We've got Captain of All Pleasures, Guardian Angel, and Stephanie Lauren's Lord of the Privateers. Okay, so this guy, narrator Steve West or Shane East, I don't know why he goes by both names. It's the same guy. He has the most beautiful, buttery, delicious voice. However, the turn that this plot has taken is not my liking. I'm not really interested. I don't want to tell you what it is because it's a really big spoiler, but I'm just not interested in what happened. And so I'm knocking this one out. Despite the fact that I own this book and I own it on Audible, life is just too short to read a book you don't like or you're not that interested in, you know what I'm saying? So, gone. Now, left with 2. Guardian Angel and Captain of All Pleasures. So I think that, they both have kind of a surprise ending. We've got Shot Fired and Please Kill Me. I feel like this one has a much higher possibility of being a super swashbuckly in the ocean. It's feeling super piratey and sounds like there's high passion and he better not just be broody and moody the whole time. There better be a good reason and you better get over it. But we'll find out because I've chosen this one. This is the one I'm going with. And I don't have an audio of this and there is no audio of this. So I'm going to have to read it entirely with my eyeballs. So I'm looking forward to it though. And when next you see me, which will be in just a moment, I will have my review. Well, I just finished The Captain of All Pleasures, and honestly, I'm disappointed in myself that I would have totally judged a book by the title and the cover and not gone for this. And we happen to be at the beach, which is just perfect. This was terrific. I gave it 4 stars. There's storms on the high seas, plenty of sailing, there's treachery, there's plenty of lovin', which was well written, although there were times I was sort of shaking my head like, how is that logistically possible? I really enjoyed Derek and Nicole, who are both real hotheads, so there was a lot of passion going all over the place, but they were constantly making crazy choices and then apologizing, and then they would forgive the other one. I don't want to give too much away because I think you should read it for yourself and see. He was very possessive, so if that is something that you enjoy, definitely go for this. A little goes a long way for me in terms of possessiveness, but I really, really enjoyed it. There were some twists and turns with his situation that I did not see coming. It was excellent, and yeah, I really enjoyed trying this new trope of pirate romance. I absolutely will try some more pirate romance in the future. In fact, the other book there's only 2 in this series, and it's called the Sutherland Brothers. And so book 2 is his brother Grant. And I might read that because I really enjoy this. So Cresley Cole, nice. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this long. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is that you're reading. Until next time, thanks so much. Take care and ahoy. Doesn't mean goodbye.